Hi. Before going to video, please subscribe to my channel for more interesting stuff.
Story from r/confession. Episode 3. Posted by you/this username is long. I walked 2 miles with half ounce of weed up my butt cheeks. Back, many moons ago I was at a college party with a few of my mates. Few drinks in, the house owner asks us if we want to smoke. Me being new to the scene, I thought he was talking about cigarette or cigar. We get up to his room and he pulled out a bong and we all started smoking. So we finish a few rotations of the bong and I decided this would be a good time to buy some weed for the first time. I smoked a little bit of what I bought and about 30 minutes later I hear a loud bang coming from downstairs. Apparently cops raided the house because college party, small town, people get fairly annoyed when you have a loud music booming at 4 a.m. in the morning. So I panicked because I've never been this high in my entire life and new to spicy cabbage. Okay, can't blame me, and here I am with a half ounce of weed on me. I don't want to throw the weed away because I paid a decent amount of money for it, so I did what any logical human being would do. I spread my butt cheeks in a room of about 15 people and stuffed it between my butt cheeks. I make my way past the cops as they are escorting us all outside and out the door. Then we get to the porch area and somebody says they're going to start chasing us, like he's whispering it to me, and I'm high and drunk all at the same time, and I have this guy behind me aggressively whispering, "Run. They gon' chase us." Thinking back to it now, he was probably trying to get me to run so the copa would chase me instead of him. Maybe he had something worse on him than I did. I wait till I get about like a half a block away from the house and I just take off running. The entire time I got my butt cheeks clenched, hoping I don't drop his half ounce of weed out my crack. At some point I heard a dog barking and thought it was a police dog. I did the one thing you never saw in scary movies. Looked back. I tripped, fell, rolled and popped up to kept running, only to realize it was a neighbor's dog. I make it about 2 miles or so to my friend's house. Did a reach around only to realize somewhere between the party house and my friend's place the weed fell out. So now drunk, high and somewhat bloody, me thinks, hey, this is the perfect time to go back in the middle of the night with a flashlight looking for the weed I dropped that smells like ass crack and party juices. I never found that weed. Frown. TLDR, bought weed for the first time at a college party that got busted by the cops. Stuffed the sack of weed between my butt cheeks to conceal it as we're being escorted out. Ran from cops thinking they were going to chase me, only to lose my weed from my butt cheeks. Holy schnikes. My first gold courtesy of /you/Barry Benson 09, and it's on a story about me packing my crack with nugs. Edit 1. I also have another confession. I posted this to r/Tiffa this morning and made an edit because someone said the story was unfinished. It wasn't very eventful after that, but here is what happened. I ended my night going back to my friend's house after failing to find my weed and passing out on his living room floor. Prior to passing out, I vaguely recall playing his flute for a girl that was at the party who also ended up at his house. I was trying to marinate, so don't bone apple teeth me, her, but failed horribly. I don't know how to play the flute. Never have a day in my life before then. I also don't remember much more than that about the night. Just that my friend's GF had a cute Yorkie that I was obsessed with all night. Edit 2. I feel like when I was running I looked like Thad when he did the Oreo race in Blue Mountain State. Story from r/confession. Posted by you/Gangly Muzzlicker. I internet stalked my dead mother-in-law and found things I would have never known. It's long. I'm sorry. The confession is at the bottom if you don't want the backstory about my perspective. I wrote this on mobile, so forgive my formatting. My so's mother died 4 years ago this week. Tonight I found her profile on a forum for people with the disease she had. Note, it's a physical degenerative disease. She would post about her pain, medication, and not having health insurance. I know this doesn't really sound like a confession and you're probably wondering why it's such a big deal. Well, here's why. From my perspective, I came into this family 9 months after her passing. I am the last in-law to join the family and the only one who never knew her, so naturally I wanted to join this in the know club. However, my boyfriend, and anyone for that matter, was very strange anytime I asked about her life and especially about her death. Now, I know some people are weird when talking about death, especially their parents dying, but it was something my boyfriend and I initially connected over, so I thought it would be an okay topic. But as soon as I asked anything about her circumstances, alive or dead, it's like one of those creepy movies where everyone goes quiet and slowly turns their head to look at you and someone quickly asks an off-topic question to change the subject. Hey, let's go see what's on TV, yeah? But here's the weirdest part. When I did get an answer, everyone always had a different account and their opinion changed based on who was there at the time. If she got brought up at dinner, she was a great woman, troubled, horrible childhood, But get anyone alone and you would hear a totally different answer. According to her parents, she was a wild child with a strong will. According to her daughter, she was a best friend who kept people grounded. According to my boyfriend, she was an absent mother but still respectable. According to her other son, she was just a biological mother. According to their father, she was crazy and then some. So it was very hard for me to put an image together of her for the first 2 to 3 years of our relationship. Little note to add to the timeline, what I thought from 2014 to 2016, she was in her mid-late 30s when she passed away one night at a boyfriend's house after a rough battle with bone cancer. Now, last summer, 2017, I worked with his sister, so I was able to talk to her about their mother one-on-one, in detail. She said she had a very rough childhood that resulted in some untreated mental issues that followed her into adulthood. Okay, that makes sense. But what still didn't make sense was her death. I felt like no one could give me a straight answer. Like everyone had convinced themselves of the same lie. Why is it such a big deal? If she died from cancer, she died from cancer. So finally I get the chance to hang out with 2 of his relatives this last fall, 2017. 2 unbiased people semi-removed from the family. So, we're having fun during a night out. Got a little drunk and things started spewing. I got told stories of how she would lock herself in her house and call her children at all hours of the day, threatening suicide and to kill anyone who came to try and stop her. One time my boyfriend and his brother stood outside of her sliding glass door, begging her to open the door, while she stood on the other side threatening to kill herself right there in front of them. They had to eventually bust through the glass. Multiple times she broke the windows and doors down in her house trying to get out because she thought someone had locked her in there. Her most common threat was telling her family that she was going to take some pills and drink herself to death for no reason at all. How no one could live with her because it was a life-threatening issue to be off your guard around her. She would crawl around on the floor like a baby, pretending to be an infant. She would dress up in children's clothing, she was a very small woman, and twirl around and giggle like a child. She would sit in the corner, pretend no one else was there, and play board games with herself. Basically she had a slew of mental issues. Most apparent to others was her untreated multiple personality disorder, now called DID. I never got a straight image of who she was because she had 20+ personalities. At times she would change personalities multiple times within an hour. With her DID came many other mental disorders. She lived in psychosis. She also had Munchausen's. She never had cancer. She never had MS. She never had any real, diagnosed disease other than these severe mental disorders. After her death, her body was donated to science. Her real cause of death was a bad cocktail of prescription drugs and alcohol, but her kids don't know that. Okay, so the confession. On this forum I was stalking her on, she always asked about things in a very strange form. Like she was fishing for answers to confirm her thoughts. All of these posts happened in this order in the year leading up to her death. She asked if one of the 2 tests for MS could give a false negative. Her doctor told her she positively didn't have it. She wanted the other test done to confirm her thoughts that she did have it, and he wouldn't do it. She would have had to gone and lied to a new doctor at this point. This one obviously wasn't biting her bait. She posted about a very specific issue that when Googled, came up with a very specific solution in the form of a barbiturate. Of course people commented with the drug they're on and she responded, perfect. Just what I need. I will call my doctor first thing tomorrow. The creepiest one, however, was close to her last post. 2 weeks before she passed, she posted that she was afraid that she had mixed up her medication after a night out drinking. She felt like she should go to the ER but wanted other people's opinions first. The consensus was get your stomach pumped now. She was fishing for an answer that absolutely would verify that she could kill herself with that. Sure enough, 2 weeks later she was found dead after she took her medication with alcohol. Now, to wrap this up, I don't say any of this out of hatred, disgust, or meanness. I say it to get it off my chest because obviously no one in the family wants to talk about it. I respect her for making it almost 40 years with no help for the illnesses she had. I don't feel comfortable telling anyone in the family what I found because they buried this 4 years in the past, so here you go Reddit.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.